All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Just a reminder, I don't know if anybody can get this information somewhere. Uh, on our phones, there should be a pre-circuit for the audio so we can adjust they have the EQ like on the S24, I think even the S23, they had the EQ maybe even earlier for playing of audio, the broadcasting of audio. So you can hear in headphones and in speakers, you can adjust the EQ. The same thing should be available for the microphone. Any microphone coming in to the device should have an EQ chip, but it should be like an EQ. It'd be best if it was like an EQ compressor and a noise gate. There's no reason that we don't. Right. If you want to use compressor, just at least an EQ and a noise gate, where you can adjust the level of noise cancellation. Correct, Larry. Thank you. Thanks, Larry. And then it can be turned off, of course, because actually control the audio and tell the audio what to do, and it's not usually an EQ or anything like that. Well, we use our phones for enough now where we should be able to simply EQ it and noise cancel it well with the mic before we have to worry about what's going on in the app. Right. So essentially, like right now, I'm using my phone microphone. If I could EQ it and noise gate it, that'd be nice. Right now, it's noise gated, I think, in the web somewhere. Right. I'm not sure how their web app works. I mean, it's just at this point, and there really isn't that many dongles, like lightweight dongles, available to do any of that stuff. I have one of the few that has monitoring, and it has you've got the volume for monitoring. I could change if it's like device heavy or microphone heavy, where you hear the monitoring more than I hear the. My shoes are making noise. Thank you, man. So we need to really think about that. It's not going the way it should. Some other sunglasses that I put over my glasses, but I guess it's not too bright out there. It looks like it's going to, like it should rain and it's not going to rain. That's like the worst weather, where it should rain and it's not raining. Thank you, Larry. Thank you. We're behind on that kind of technology. There should be an EQ on input and output audio. There should be a noise gate on the input. I mean, it looks like it's going to rain, kind of, but you look in the sky, it doesn't look like rain. But it's just the whole thing that's going on feels like rain. It's humid. All right. Hopefully, that turtle's living a good life. I don't know. The Lord have me save a turtle. All right. So, what I wanted to let you know, one of the things God said when I woke up, He told me about Scripture, and He essentially said that Scripture is not necessarily perfection. And God even just took it to the point, and I know that part isn't true, but what if none of it's real? Would that be okay? And I'm like, of course, you're God. I'm not gonna be mad at God, because essentially, God's trying to do something. It's like a rescue mission. So whatever it takes is kind of where it is. Trying to get everybody home. Well, we're stuck in karma, is what like the Hindus and all them call it. We're stuck in the physical world, and we need to gain release to get out of it. And Satan has taken over the audio. Right. So it doesn't really work all that well. Now, in this cruise, there's things God spoke to me and taught me some things. And when I read scriptures, I kind of read it like scripture. I just read it as an investigator. It's just kind of natural for me. So when I read things, what you see isn't exactly what it actually says. Because here we have Heavenly Father. Okay, the Supreme Creator in Heavenly Father is the Supreme Creator through Jesus Christ. He created heaven and earth and all things in them. I almost said all things denote there is a God, yea, even the earth and all the things that are upon the face of it, yea, its motion, yea, and I guess it's that yea, and also all the planets which move in their regular form do witness that there is a supreme creator. Okay. Well, if you look at what they're saying there, it has a limitation. Now, some would say, well, because back then astronomy wasn't that big, yada yada. Well, if you go back to like Hinduism, that's even older, it will actually talk about things that they in no way could know. Right. Actually. So essentially, uh, God told me that Jesus Christ is very much important to this universe. So again, when the words say, uh, right, so he uses the term heaven and earth, but he doesn't talk about all the created places. Again, foreshadowing, God had me say, I got to get my mail, right? God had me say, uh, uh, oh darn, I forgot what I was going to say. Heaven and earth. It's kind of windy out here. I might stay inside to get a little walk in this morning. Oh yeah, in my Father's existence, there are many existences. So that's something that updates that mansion thing. So the reality is, there could be a limitation of where things apply, right, and how things apply. Again, God is performing a rescue mission, right? And not all Scripture will come through to the earth in its perfect form. But again, God will use it. It's some weird weather. I'll tell you that. Mm. To my apartment, I don't know why I would go out there to begin with. Thanks, Dave. So, when we look at all these scriptures and why are they different and all that type of thing. Yeah, they're hacking me somehow here. trying to get this all online. I'm going to get that other. I had two phones hooked in, and that don't work too good. Right. So I guess we're good now. Well, I'm just going to tell you, there's a supreme being aspect of God, and that's just it. Yeah, I mean, I can see it right here. I can look at the plants, I can look at the trees, and know that that exists. But it doesn't mean that the LDS stuff is false. It doesn't mean. It just might mean they don't have enough information. They have a lot, not enough. Where are these people at? These two people that are supposedly launching me. Oh, Twitter, I guess. Nice. Yeah, my sinus is. What up, man? How you doing? I just wish they had zero fat ice cream, but 1.5 grams per serving, that's pretty good. Or sat fat, 0 grams sat fat. See, that's the point. They have to, like a lot of times, they have to remember it's the saturated fat. The problem is you can increase things such as, polyunsaturated or monounsaturated, which is good fat, right? Healthy fat, right? And decrease the sat fat. That's the key. Right. Like they're still doing like the zero fat cheese, which is okay, but what if you put the good fat in there and it would have probably a better texture to it? Like, no, I'm not lying. The temporary hold thing that happened years ago was corrupt and criminal. And again, they were around my mom and all that, and they tend to sway her mind. But beyond that, my mother, I said, let's get a lawyer. Let's fix that. You're getting older. Let's fix. She agreed. We did it on the phone, and of course, probably both our lives went upside down after that. Right? Because they listen on a wiretap and they use it for corrupt purpose. Right. A lot of, it's like a lot of dust or allergen in the air. The winds are blowing pretty much. As you know, my sinuses are starting to work when I start sneezing again. What happens is I didn't notice it. I stopped sneezing. I guess that's from that tightness of the cranial tissues. Right. Okay. Thanks, Larry. So there was a plan. A couple occasions we decided to try it, but never got to it. Where a lawyer would meet with her interviewer and then take the representations to the court. Right. Thanks, Larry. And then it would obviously be expunged. I mean, it never went anywhere, but right. false statements. There was nothing happening that day. Correct. Thank you. That could be it too. There's a lot of things that never made it to the light of day as far as helping the planet is what they did in my life. There's medical things, there's spiritual things, there's psychological things. Again, some of it has. People have made money on my stuff, right? Made credit and government on my stuff. Pretty soon, I'm going to focus on my legs a little bit more too, because I was, going heavy on that back. It released, starting to release pretty good, and see if we can free up some of this other areas. This wind is a lot of people over there. I guess the putting, not the putting green. What is that called? The driving range. I think they have a driving range over there, something like that. Or they just waiting to win the golf. I don't know. Never been over there. I think I may have taken my stomach acid down too far, so I laid off all the medicines. Right. So again, the scriptures a lot of times don't say what you think they say. You have to pay attention to detail in what is being written. So what's going to happen eventually if I can get this to work, and I think it's starting to work, is my plan was to release the back more than I need to release it, and then build it back up. And at that point, it'll be a little probably tighter than the young person's back, but it's not going to be killing itself, tightening beyond a normal level, right? Because I can get it really, really loose, but for my age, it's too loose. And people my age don't have backs that loose. Thank you. So there's really not a lot of strength in there because when it gets cramped, it loses its strength. So I have to try to increase the strength. Did cool off a little bit, but boy, it's still humid. It's just like, this is the weather where it usually rains. You usually have a black cloud and it goes. It's not going to rain till Sunday. But if it stays humid like this, there'd be some heavy storms. Look, it's not raining. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. I think I might go inside though. There's some heavy dust and allergens out. I'd probably have been fine if I could have got to the right treatment 4 or 5 years ago. But they were heavy on me, and just it had taken its toll all those years. Right, I couldn't break through it. Again, some of it is spiritual blindness. They're devils. I don't know. I'm down powered today. That's for sure. My left side's actually too released right now. It's not as bad as it is sometimes, though, but it needs to be a little more. It needs to be stronger, and then because when I wake up, sometimes it's the way it needs to be, so I know what I'm looking for. But I think the key is to release the right side additionally, and then at some point strengthen it. The weird part is, how they say you have to be grateful and then it'll get better. It was actually the reverse. Every time I was grateful, something else would happen bad. So again, it's probably from a curse, some sort of curse. Right. It's just weird because it's just like the weather where it rains. I mean, it's just doesn't. It lacks dark clouds. It's got white clouds instead. It's humid. The wind it has the smell of rain in the air, but there's nothing there. Just wind, cloudiness, but then nothing. Whew. There's no reason to run the AC without being in here. It really wasn't that humid inside. I guess it is. It's I guess it's a little bit higher than I thought. I'm gonna run my. Now, if they'd have been forced to weigh me out, I've been absolutely healthy. I've had some distraction, but not like this. And of course, if they were away from me, I probably just did yoga the rest of my life. It's kind of a weird day. Trying to find some snacks. I guess I bought these. I shouldn't have bought these. I should have bought something different. I just bought those clean bars, but I don't know. They just don't carry the day. I mean, they're healthy and they do fill you up a little bit, but they're just lacking a little bit. Healthy. and they taste pretty good. Actually, the better tasting ones have too much fat for my taste. Almost like a edible cereal bar. A chocolate and peanut butter is one of them. I no doubt I was psychologically tortured for just shits and giggles and personal reasons. I pull in some psychobabble and try to tell you it's something else. All you gotta do is look around you and notice that it's not actually what they say it is. Waiting on Amazon to deliver my next cheese. What I do is I get their no-fat mozzarella, and then I buy some other regular mozzarella that isn't, it's still low fat. It's not high fat. And what I do is I'll put a base of that no-fat mozzarella and then lightly sprinkle it with the other mozzarella. It's really a negligible amount of fat, but it helps with the taste. I mean, the other one doesn't taste bad. What I think is that the other mozzarella tastes, you know how Parmesan cheese tastes? And I think the other mozzarella tastes more like Parmesan cheese than it does, mozzarella. Again, it's not the heavy, salty one like the powdered one, but the shredded one that they sell, which isn't as salty as the powdered one. This is some weird weather. I'll tell you that. Even if it's an omen. Tomorrow's temperature will be 6 degrees lower. That will be welcome. At least on Saturday, it won't be bad weather. So my 6666 order. Now, that denotes that they're trying to say whoever changed that is denoting the LDS is 666. Right. It's an insult to LDS. So, if the company, I guess it's called Ringmasters, did it, right, for the behest of someone else, they're dissing LDS. Right. Thanks, Larry. Or it could be hacked, so they might not even know. I have no idea why they got rid of the Surgeon General that he was wanting to put in. Psilocybin mushrooms. I did have no idea why you listened to that wacko and got rid of a perfectly good Surgeon General. It doesn't matter. The harder you fight things, the muckier it's going to get. Right? New secret recordings. Right. So this guy's trying to impress this woman. Right. See. So again, I told you that. What's O'Keefe's name? I told you he sets it up with bullshit. Right. Jamie Menina says in his lawsuit that he was misled by a woman he met on a dating website who held herself out as a politically liberal nurse, was actually working for OK. See, it's bullshit. I bet you they were in that guy's life for months on end before that. Right. Oh, shit. He's probably the one I was investigating. I was trying to figure out who was put against Trump, and it was probably him or his people. I was telling you, like people like that set it up, so when Trump comes back to power, they're I'm the only one left supporting Trump, right? Thanks, Larry. Yeah, it's a psyop, is what it really is. He's not independently. He's not really a media person. He's engaged. He's a spy operator engaged in psyops. And you don't even know how dastardly he gets because you're not going to find out about the other ones. He uses that as the cover story. But he's the media, right? Actually, right. He may not even know how much he was operated, or he might, and that may choose not to say at all, right? He's out there altering people, and then when it's ripe, then he interviews them, right? He's not investigating people. He's psyoping. It's a big difference. It's actually probably criminal. It's this form of stalking. I agree. Like Menina, I guess his name is, or whatever it is. He probably doesn't even know how much he was psyoped, right? Yeah, it's like the CIA twisting somebody into what they want them to be, and then at that point, launching the media investigation, quote unquote. Correct. Like trying to impress the liberal nurse, right? That sounds about right to us, Larry. And then there may be another entity that puts O'Keefe up to it, right? You don't know how much they operated. Hello, Brooklyn. It's out for delivery. My delivery lady's name is Brooklyn. Oh, there is a problem. I meant to tell Amazon. I'm not mad, but it could lead to an issue. Correct. Okay, so you have a photo of the delivery person, and right. What's happening is, I think Walmart does the same thing. What's happening is they're working with a spouse or boyfriend or something like that, or girlfriend, so, or a child. So when I look at my app, I'm supposed to see who the delivery person is, and that's a protection against the delivery person being assaulted or harassed in any way, right? Well, that's not the person that always comes up to the door, so we need to figure that out. I mean, I don't know how you would do that, and I don't know if they're not. I guess they're not supposed to be delivering with their kids or whatever. But I mean, I don't have a problem with it. And if it works, it works. But the problem is when we look at the photo, it's not the person that comes to the door. And again, I don't care, but somebody might. So that's a safety risk, and I guess it's probably a security breach for Amazon. I don't think they want somebody else delivering because they didn't pass the background. Right. Right. I mean, it probably works efficiently when one drives and the other delivers. Now, if they do something like that, maybe you could arrange for something like that. Who knows? Right. Where they allow, but again, the person would have to pass a background, I guess. Right. Because they're gaining access based upon Amazon's delivery. Correct, Larry. Yeah, but in my mind, it was, because I remember I think an Amazon delivery person was shot at, that kind of thing. I mean, that they were just real wacko, but still, that could happen if, in other words, if you see the person that's delivering That was FedEx, I guess. Yeah, right. But if you see the person delivering, generally you're like, oh, okay, right. Are they wearing a vest? I don't think so. I'll keep it under watch, but I know it's like sometimes it's a kid, sometimes it's a significant other, spouse, or something. Right. Thank you, Larry. But again, that takes one of the safety features out, where you know who's coming up to your door, right? And you see them, and there they are on your app. God bless you, Larry. Is that my Amazon person? I'm next. Stop. So there she is. She's over there. I'm over this way. Over here. She can't hear me. They always go in that one. If they read the instructions, it tells you to go over this side. All right. Thank you, Larry. Well, it's probably better to deliver in pairs anyway. It's safer, right? Probably more efficient, right? But oh, she's leaving. Oh, where'd she go? Oh, she must be on the second floor. But how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Weird weather, isn't it?
I know.
It's like it should be raining or something, but it's not. It's not going to rain until Sunday, it says. She must be on the other side going on a second. I said, hey, over here. All right. I know it's my bag. Oh, there. Over here. I said, when you were walking the other side, I said, hey, over here, but you couldn't hear me. No worries.
I was in the zone.
Yeah.
But everyone always just talks, so.
You got to exercise, I guess, right?
I love exercise. Just when everybody's like talking, I kind of just am like, maybe they're not talking.
Yeah. Especially because I broadcast a podcast on here too. A lot of people are like that. All right, thank you. Yeah, she didn't know if I was talking to her. Well, Brooke passed the test. She actually delivered it herself. I must be related to her family somehow. Thanks, Liz. But Dad's probably a cop or something. To make trouble, but again, looking to make trouble might actually be saving somebody's life or something, right? Thank you, Larry. I'm leaning on the side of no, but thanks, Larry. Yeah, actually, it's a few cents cheaper for the mozzarella from Amazon, the fat one. The other one's more money, but it's because it's no fat. That's a special item. Well, I was going to give up my pizzas, but I redesigned it. It's just going to be like I broil a portion of the pizza crust because I have full size ones now, and put it under the broiler, flip it, broil it a little lightly on the other side, right? Get like you regular pizza crust, right? And then I put cheese on it and put it back in the broiler, melt the cheese, and that's it. But I also have like the fake meats, the vegetarian meats, right? So you put that on there too. You have to pre-cook that part, but that's my new go-to recipe here. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you, Larry. Bless you. I don't think I ever had trouble like a hemophiliac or anything from using too much aspirin or something. People go if you use too much aspirin, blood clot issues, but I never saw that. But apparently, the pain management guy knew some colleague that said he knows somebody that had an issue from like baby aspirins. They take in baby aspirin every day. Thanks, Larry. Like I said, as far as the deep state and all that garbage they did, and our Republican deep staters, a few years, but I mean, decades, they're going to hell. Well, if you had control over the system where you only do it to somebody for a couple of years, then yeah, it would probably be, not as much. I mean, you can't kill them, right? Nobody accepts that they stayed in your life for like 35 years, 40 years. There's nothing we can do because, again, the people that run the country are part of it. Right? It's just like, I want to come outside and walk, but the weather's just like, right? It felt good walking in the day, but I didn't have the energy today because it's nice and warm. It was a little humid, but it's nice being out there in the warmth, right? So I'm getting all limbered up. Bless you, Larry. Yeah, you should have been forced to stay away from me. It's kind of would have been normal. Correct, Larry. So they freeze some water, happy belly water, and they throw it in the bag to keep the food cool. Right. My one cheese had 3 ice waters. Happy belly food from Amazon. Thank you, Larry. Well, I guess it would get them fired. I'm not looking to fire people, but I'm looking to make sure people don't get injured. Right. 100%, Larry. Yeah, probably shouldn't have bought that one. I don't know why I bought this one. Oh, because it had the rubber. Right. I could have did that myself. This one's just too flimsy, too light. The foam bounces on it. Now I have a variety of things to put my phone on. They're designed to go around your neck, or even if you can use it as a stand on a table or something. This one's just too small. Let's see if somebody would want this. Never been a use for it. See, doesn't that sound like a gun? Well, it does to me. hear with the echo. So again, the gun thing's on. So be wary of gun crimes and forming gun crimes. You can heal it metaphysically. When I go outside, I just don't feel like continuing on. I take a few steps. I'm like, yeah, crummy weather. I'm almost to the point of actually using one of my stationary microphones. Okay, so I have 2 more days till Sabbath. I got to make sure I get the Sabbath going this Friday. I actually have to burn a couple extra candles to make up for the missed weeks, they say. Right. I don't know if my Christus pins will. They should arrive actually before the baptism. They want me to go Friday to make sure everything fits, like the baptism gear will fit. Now she said something about that I thought was strange. They said, then Sunday you have to go in front of the church and be and have the Aaronic priesthood in front of the ward, I guess they call it. Aaronic priesthood bestowed, whatever they call it, conferred, I guess, something like that. But that didn't sound right. And then like she's like, well, I guess you're going to meet with the bishop down the road, and I think she said we're going to do it at the temple. Some places do it at the temple. I don't know why she didn't know that. Well, I guess because a lot of times. Oh, I guess I don't know why she didn't know that. Unless I'm a special case. Unless there's some sort of setup in there. Let me see, Bishop. Conferring the Aaronic priesthood. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, huh? Wait, these are, okay, that's it. These are, what are they called? The Aaronic priesthood has taken on the role. Is often called a preparatory priesthood. Holds of the Aaronic priesthood whom the church considers worthy or ordained to the office of Melchizedek. Holding the Melchizedek priesthood, with the exception of the bishop. That's okay. I'm actually calling him, so I'm not worried about it. No, I couldn't think of nothing, man. I was trying to, like, 4 years ago or so, or 3 years ago, I was trying to get you a massage. I remember that. And I was just panic attack after panic attack because of what they've done. Right. Just couldn't get past it. Again, I ended up buying a vehicle late in Texas when I should have already had a new one like a couple years earlier because they were doing stuff. Right. Yeah, it's just it's almost too much of an organized church, but that's okay. Just kind of peaceful, easy feeling, Healed. Yeah, okay, I'll be a priest one day, right? Healed. Wow. Well, I mean, I gotta thank them for helping me and being there for me. Give me a Book of Mormon and tell me about it. All that. I respect that they broke through and at least could reach out to me. Now the question is whether the deep state's there, right, and already manipulating the situation. I don't know if I can't even move this. Yeah, I should have had this on wheels. I don't know if the missionaries would be trusted to be let in on something like that. Because the deep state's involved, a lot of times people lie at a certain point because it's illegal. Right? Say, they don't want the missionaries there because they, don't want them to know that they lie. Right? Of course, I'll tell you, well, I know for a fact that we kept the world safe by lying. Right? Yeah, okay. That's really good. But that those imitation steak tips. And you put some mozzarella cheese. Oh, first you cook that up, you brown it. Then you take some of this mozzarella cheese and the pizza crust. It's yummy. And yummy. Thank you, Lily. Oh, they're adulterating my church membership, and the Lord will deal with it. Percent. God did not create the church to be an arm of corrupt law enforcement, secret societies. Percent. Agree. Correct. Well, like I said, you got pretty small minds, all of you, as to where this all goes in the end. I'm sorry. I mean, why would you work your derriere off in a church, your life, supposedly at least, and then throw it all away on something like that? Correct. Well, you're not going to heaven, you do that stuff. There's no way that you're to alter the playing field for somebody attempting to enter a church. No freaking way. Jesus would destroy you for that if he could. 100%. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Let me put this over here. It's that little thing, and you're not protected. Like, because that would be the next progression. Oh, yeah, now we'll let you into the real law enforcement missions we engage in to keep the church safe. Oh, yeah, he's a bad hombre. That person's a bad hombre. Make all the law enforcement church people, you know, they're all into it. Oh, he's a bad hombre. Oh, they're corrupt, man. Believe me. So, like, the church partakes in corruption. Oh, that's real. Yeah. Yummy, wummy, in my tummy. All right, so what's the next thing? I got to go look at Mike Lee and see if he's put anything out on that no porn bill. I try to advise him on it. Like, if you go to the no porn level, then it gets shot down. Right. But if you were to actually say something like, give me a second, I need to get something. So if you were actually to get to the point of saying, you know, just where sex is taken by force, you're not going to get rid of all the S&M, but you'll get rid of, you know, the extreme S&M. Right. I don't know how they're doing it, but they must have coached my cheese. The bad hombre. That's the way cops speak to law enforcement geeks. Gets them all titillated. The MAGA faithful. Yummy, wummy. Right, so you have to take. Yeah, I've told you before about it. I told you how to structure those bills. I don't remember who was sponsoring it last time. Hey, sorry. Yummy, wummy, in my tummy. Actually, thank you, sure. No, because you got nowhere last time. I mean, it's like so stupid. It's like the Ukraine war. So stupid. Actually, maybe that's a sign of the time. Stupidity. All right, that looks pretty good, I guess. Thank you, Mary. I did it a different way this time. I was doing some garlic. I just take it off the heat, and then I take the cheese And instead of boiling the cheese on top of the thing, I just mix the cheese in with this meat, right? This fake meat, and then spread it like a spread. That'll work. So anything that depicts a crime, right? You know, forcefully taking sex, that kind of thing. Like I said, but only to you don't be able to get rid of it, certainly. Well, theoretically, it's not lawful anyway. I don't think. I don't see lawful, but most. Here's when we lawful in acts or against the rules of act. Well, we don't necessarily ban it. It will be against the rules of X. Well, X won't necessarily ban it, or take it down. I think they see some of it as an artistic expression. I've reported stuff before, and they don't take it down. I think they'll receive such a response. Well, in the news article, they say, trying to rein in the extreme pornography, but when they look at the law, it's trying to get rid of all pornography, I think. And that's just, it's just not possible. So at that point, it, becomes a wasted effort. The West one was. So if we hadn't tried it before, what I tell them is go after like extreme pornography, the really violent stuff. Right? They overreached last time. Maybe it wasn't as much, but they did overreach. How many Gatorades can you drink in a day, or something like that? How many Gatorades can you drink in a day? Okay, Gatorade's different. How many electrolyte and mineral drinks can you drink in a day? Yeah, probably should go overboard. Mike Lee pornography bill. Yeah, but I'm just not understanding how far the bill goes. Seems like they're double speaking, but I may be too confused, so we can get it in. Oh, here. Questions consistent. Yeah, they're essentially talking about the extreme pornography, but they're talking about banning all pornography, and that's gonna kill it. Right. Thanks, man. Oh, even if you were to get to banning pornography completely, you would have to do it the way I'm telling you to do it. You have to first get something forward that they find legally sufficient, such as anything depicting rape, forced sex, extreme violence, that kind of thing. Well, you might eventually someday be able to do the other one. We're not going to get there today. Yeah, you can try to do the. You should probably do the other one. What was the other one? Oh wait. I'm holding my other phone and thinking it's broadcasting. So you're not going to get that one through. So you should, you might be able to get one through one day, but you're not going to get it today. And so you might want to do like baby steps, Right. So you want to try to get rid of the ones I was speaking about, type of pornography I was speaking about. And leave it open to negotiation. I mean, if they only allow you to get rid of a small portion, then go for it. Because that's really work. Right. But what you might want to do is have just stronger national laws on access. So essentially, you want to, like, well, essentially what's going to happen probably is they'll get to that point, like, why don't we just control access? Because you're going to use certain arguments and, right. Try to take a combination of controlling access and removing certain types of pornography that depict criminal behavior. And then you'll get something forward, and you'll be heroes again. We could be heroes just for one day. Little flashback there. Thinking about flashbacks, the Surgeon General did mushrooms, man. 100%, Larry. It's going to end badly, I believe. Right. They're already saying that she never completed her residency. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Bloomer. Did it again. You're ensuring a Democrat revival. Terrible. That's what when we're taking so far in the wacko land, the Democrats are going to be empowered. I actually stood up for her and told everybody to give her money. When they did, they rescued her. No, I don't believe in bullying, but now she's bullying, Right. Well, she's in trouble. She lost, right? Go. Everybody knew that. Right. I agree. I kept saying online, I didn't see my stuff. I kept saying, shut up, just shut up. Don't try to fix it. Just shut up. It's over. If they keep what happens is if he keeps speaking, he kept getting, he kept interfering with the election, right? Well, they're saying any transmission of anything depicts a sexual act. They're not going to get that forward, right? Thanks, Larry. which means you won't be able to do anything. So if you do it, if you change it the way I say, then oh wait, look, Elon's neck here. Look at Elon in this photo. No, he needs chiro and a massage therapist. Right, his head's going forward. Right. Got another photo online that makes Elon look like Alfred E. Newman. I'm trying to figure out what was going on at the ice facility. Like, what was actually happening? What are we looking at? Why is the gate opening? All right. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Larry. Well, was the confrontation necessary? Did they come up on you while you were trying to open the gate, or were you opening the gate because you were responding to their presence? Or I'm just trying to figure that whole thing out there. Correct, Larry. It's one big jumble. Well, certain aspects of it, they can do some things based upon being in Congress. They're protected, right? So that's why I'm trying to get the specifics of what's happening, right? And again, it's just a little part of probably a longer video, right? And I'm sure ICE has video depicting it from a certain angle. If they don't, they need to install a camera, right? A couple of cameras. So I don't know what's happening there. Oh, are they trying to arrest somebody? What? Not sure what.